Coffee is one of the most widely consumed beverages on the planet, and for a significant portion of the population, drinking it every day is less a choice than a default. The morning cup has become so embedded in daily routine that most people give little thought to what it is actually doing inside their bodies over time. The conversation around coffee has shifted dramatically over the past 2 decades, moving from vague concern about its effects to a more nuanced understanding grounded in a substantial body of research. Registered dietitians who work with coffee drinkers regularly have a clearer picture of both the genuine benefits and the real risks associated with daily consumption, and their perspective cuts through a lot of the confusion that tends to surround this particular habit. The reality is that coffee is neither the health villain it was once portrayed as, nor the superfood that some enthusiastic advocates now claim. It occupies a more complicated middle ground, one where the benefits are real and meaningful for most people, but the downsides are equally real for those who overconsume or who have specific health vulnerabilities. What coffee actually contains. The popular understanding of coffee tends to reduce it to a caffeine delivery system, but the nutritional profile of coffee is considerably more interesting than that framing suggests. Coffee contains phenolic acids, a class of bioactive plant compounds that act as antioxidants in the body and have been shown to support healthy blood vessels and improve blood circulation. These compounds belong to a broader category of polyphenols, plant-based molecules with well-documented anti-inflammatory effects. Beyond these bioactive compounds, coffee also provides recognizable nutrients, including potassium, magnesium, and B vitamins. The combination of polyphenols and these more conventional nutrients contributes to effects that extend well beyond the energy boost most people associate with their morning cup. The antioxidant activity of coffee's phenolic acids in particular helps explain why research has consistently linked moderate coffee consumption to benefits across multiple organ systems rather than just the nervous system. The long-term benefits of drinking 2 to 3 cups daily, the evidence connecting regular moderate coffee consumption to positive health outcomes is broader than most people realize. Dietitian Kendra Hare summarized the research by pointing to improvements in heart health, lower stroke risk, and positive effects on blood sugar regulation among people who drink 2 to 3 cups per day. There is also a substantial collection of evidence connecting coffee to kidney health, an association that rarely makes headlines, but appears consistently in the research literature. The polyphenols in coffee reduce inflammation throughout the body, which helps explain why coffee consumption has been linked to positive outcomes for people living with autoimmune conditions, including multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease. The neuroprotective effects associated with long-term regular coffee drinking are particularly notable. Research has consistently linked habitual coffee consumption to lower risk of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, a finding that has held up across multiple large-scale studies. Coffee drinking has also been associated with reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes. One persistent myth that the evidence has largely debunked is the claim that coffee raises blood pressure. When consumed in moderation, typically defined as 1 to 3 cups per day, the research does not support a meaningful link between coffee consumption and elevated blood pressure levels. This does not mean caffeine has no cardiovascular effects, but the chronic blood pressure elevation that many people assume coffee causes does not appear in the data for moderate consumers. The athletic performance benefits associated with coffee are also well established. Caffeine functions as an ergogenic aid, meaning it physically enhances performance. Regular coffee consumption before exercise has been shown to improve energy levels, increase perceived energy during exertion, enhance focus, and sharpen reaction time. These effects make coffee one of the most accessible and evidence-backed performance supplements available, a fact that has been recognized in sports nutrition for years. Where the risks come in. The benefits of daily coffee consumption come with a set of conditions that matter. The most important is quantity. The recommended upper limit for caffeine intake is 400 milligrams per day, equivalent to approximately 4 8-ounce cups of coffee. Exceeding this threshold on a regular basis is associated with increased anxiety, sleep disruption, digestive problems, dependency, and withdrawal symptoms when consumption is reduced. The benefits documented in the research tend to cluster around 2 to 3 cups per day, and the risk profile shifts meaningfully as intake climbs above that range. Sleep disruption deserves particular attention because the consequences of poor sleep extend far beyond feeling tired. Caffeine has a half-life of approximately 5 to 6 hours in the body, meaning that a cup of coffee consumed in the early afternoon still has meaningful caffeine activity in the evening. Dietitian Juliana Vaca recommends finishing coffee consumption before midday or switching to decaf after that point as a practical way to preserve sleep quality without eliminating the habit. Digestive sensitivity is another real consideration. Coffee is acidic, and for some people that acidity irritates the stomach lining, triggers acid reflux, or causes general gastrointestinal discomfort. This effect varies considerably between individuals. Some daily coffee drinkers experience no digestive issues whatsoever, while others find that even moderate consumption produces significant discomfort. Switching to lower acid coffee varieties or consuming coffee with food rather than on an empty stomach can reduce these effects for sensitive individuals. Caffeine dependency is a physiological reality for regular coffee drinkers. The body adapts to consistent caffeine exposure, and reducing or eliminating intake after a period of regular use produces withdrawal symptoms, including headaches, irritability, and fatigue. This is not a reason to avoid coffee, but it is a reason to be intentional about consumption patterns and to reduce intake gradually rather than abruptly when necessary. Certain populations need to be more cautious than others. Pregnant women are advised by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists to limit coffee consumption to 1 cup or less per day. People with atrial fibrillation occupy a more uncertain category, as the research on caffeinated beverage consumption and this condition produces conflicting results. Anyone with a specific cardiovascular or metabolic condition should discuss their coffee habits with their healthcare provider rather than relying on general population guidelines. What you add to coffee matters as much as how much you drink. One dimension of daily coffee consumption that receives less attention than it deserves is the role of additives. A plain shot of espresso or a black cup of drip coffee delivers the nutritional benefits described above with minimal caloric or metabolic cost. The same caffeine base transformed into a sweetened, syrup-laden, cream-topped beverage from a coffee chain represents an entirely different nutritional proposition, one where added sugar, saturated fat, and excess calories can actively work against the anti-inflammatory benefits that coffee's polyphenols provide. Hare recommends treating highly indulgent coffee beverages as occasional treats rather than daily staples. For people who currently rely on significant amounts of sweeteners or creamers, a gradual reduction approach works better than an abrupt change. Cutting back slowly, switching to more nutrient-dense sweeteners like honey or maple syrup in smaller quantities, or transitioning consumption to unsweetened tea are all practical strategies for preserving the ritual of coffee while bringing the nutritional profile closer to one that supports rather than undermines health. The overall picture that emerges from the Dietitians is one of qualified endorsement. Coffee consumed in moderate amounts, without excessive additives, and time to avoid interfering with sleep is a habit with a meaningful positive health profile for most people. The key word throughout is moderation, a concept that applies both to how much coffee is consumed and to how confidently any single dietary habit is credited with producing health outcomes.